The people pleaser in you was born from rejection. Yep. And guess what? You're struggling because you always putting others first. You always putting other people first. And you feeling emotionally drained from it. Yep, that's what's happening. That's how you know that you're a people pleaser. You know how sometimes you feel like you have to make everybody else happy, even when it's exhausting? Like, you always saying yes, avoiding conflict, and putting others' needs ahead of your own. I think a lot of that comes from something deeper. It definitely does. So let's break it down to see where it comes from. I think it starts with rejection. Think back to when you were younger. Did you ever feel like love or approval was something you had to earn? Like maybe you only got praise when you did something right, or you was extra helpful. If you ever felt rejected, that can leave this lasting fear of not being enough. And when you were younger, that's scary. So you start doing whatever it takes to avoid that feeling. Maybe you learned that being good, quiet, or helpful kept people close. So to avoid rejection, you became someone who's always trying to keep the peace and make sure everyone's okay. That's a tough place to be in. You're a people pleaser, but it's not your fault. You're someone who's always putting others first, making sure everyone's okay, and doing everything you can to avoid conflict. Yep, that's you. But I don't think you do that because you just like being nice. I think it's because deep down, you are afraid of what might happen if you don't. It feels safer to make people happy, right? Like, it feels easier. Because somewhere along the line, you learned that love and approval were not guaranteed. You had to earn it. And when you didn't, when you felt rejected or ignored, it hurt. So you figured out that keeping everyone else happy was a way to protect yourself. People pleasing becomes your safety net. Over time, this need to please others turns into a habit. It's just something that you do. You start thinking that if you make people happy, they won't leave you or be upset with you. It becomes this unspoken rule in your own mind. If I do what they want, they'll stay. If I speak up or set boundaries, I'll lose them. It's not that you're weak or just too nice. It's that somewhere along the way your brain learned that pleasing others was the safest way to avoid pain. You learn to keep the peace to avoid pain. That's it. That's the bottom line. I think you got used to avoiding rejection, that pleasing people became second nature. It's like your brain decided that if you can just keep everyone happy, they'll stay. They won't leave, they won't be mad, and you won't have to feel that awful sting of being left out or ignored. So now, saying yes when you really want to say no feels automatic. And even when you're exhausted or overwhelmed, you push through because making people happy feels like the only way to stay connected. Your worth feels tied to what you can do for others. And that's a hard place to be in. It's tricky. It's really tricky because you spend so much time meeting other people's needs, not your own. It feels like your worth depends on how much you do for them. I think you've started to believe that your value is dependent upon this. So when someone's happy with you, it feels good. But when they're not, it feels like you've done something wrong. It hits harder because deep down, you're afraid it means you're not enough. That's why it's so hard for you to say no or set boundaries. Saying no or disappointing someone feels so heavy. It's like that old fear of rejection when you were younger or somewhere down the line is being triggered all over again. It's not just about the situation. It's that deep fear that if you stop giving so much, people might stop caring. You're always tuning into everyone else's emotions. You are so good at reading the room. You probably notice even the slightest change in someone's mood and you adjust yourself just to keep the peace. It's like you're always on high alert, trying to read people and adjust to keep things calm. You've trained yourself to be hyper aware of everyone else's feelings. That's because for so long, keeping others happy felt like a way to stay safe and loved. But the problem is, you're so focused on what everyone else feels that you forget to ask yourself, what do you need? You're so busy making sure everyone else is okay that you forget to check in with yourself. You've gotten used to putting your own needs on the back burner, and that's draining you. You struggle with boundaries because you fear losing people. I know that setting boundaries feels impossible to you. It's because you've learned that saying no or disappointing someone means risking rejection. Somewhere deep down, you worry that if you stop giving so much, people might leave. So you push your own limits to keep people close. But the truth is, real connections aren't built on how much you sacrifice. They're built on being authentic and honest. Here's the truth. The people who really love and value you are not going to leave just because you say no sometimes. Boundaries don't push people away. They teach people how to treat you. And I know it feels uncomfortable at first. Yes, it does. But setting boundaries just means you're protecting your own peace. I'm sure some of that had to resonate with somebody. I know it resonated with me. And if it does resonate with you, this is for you. You can break the pattern. The good news is, this isn't who you have to be forever. You can unlearn this. It starts by realizing that your worth isn't tied to making others happy. You don't have to be everything for everybody to be loved. You deserve to have space for your own needs. And the people who truly care about you will understand that. I know it's a lot to take in, but I just want you to know that you don't have to carry that weight anymore. You don't have to. You can break the cycle. I need you to hear this. You don't have to keep living like this. You don't have to earn love by sacrificing yourself. Your worth isn't tied to how much you do for others. You're enough just as you are. I know it feels scary to put yourself first after all this time. It does. But I promise you're not going to lose the people who truly care about you. They'll respect you more when you start respecting yourself. I'm telling you this because I see how much you give, and I know how heavy that can be. You deserve to feel safe being yourself, not just the version of you that's trying to keep everyone else happy. You matter, and you don't have to please everybody. You don't have to do that to fit in. Just be who you are and be happy in who you are. It was a pleasure, as always, from yours truly. I'll see y'all in the next video.